Before we start off this video, I just wanted to thank everyone involved with the search team. This includes both the members of the server and members of Lostcast. Without everyone who helped on this so far, we wouldn't have made the progress we're about to cover in this update. So, thank you all so much, and without further ado, let's begin. A few months ago, I covered a topic that blew up in popularity, and I thank that specifically for the growth of my channel. The topic was a pilot pitch called Me and My Friends, and it was a predecessor to the Backyardigans. Since my first video on the subject, it surprisingly led down a path that even I have trouble explaining. So, why don't you just sit back and relax, take out a coloring book because you deserve to have some cool fun, don't worry about all those school assignments because I know you can do them, and settle in because today we're bringing you an update to the Me and My Friends pilot search. Oh boy, so we're going to go in chronological order because I'm going to have a stroke if we don't. I'm going to start this at the day I uploaded the video, which was actually one of the worst days of my life. I went to hang out with the crew's sewer reviewer in downtown Dallas. See, that wouldn't have been a problem had we not gotten on the wrong train and ended up in downtown Fort Worth. It was there that we got in trouble with a police officer, walked over a mile to find a McDonald's, got on the wrong bus, and didn't get home until around 9 p.m. But hey, my video blew up. I actually remember that my friend had told me it hit 1,000 views, which was a lot for me then, and I was pretty excited. I remember that moment specifically because I was sitting on a bus bench and right underneath it was a dead squirrel, which made me freak out literally 5 seconds after. Anyways, within the same week, I had found out that my video had actually exploded with popularity, and people were talking about this topic again. It turns out that the last time anyone had talked about this was 2017. Consequently, a search team formed from that. I was sent an invite from L Supersonic Q to join a search server on Discord. At first, things were pretty moderate regarding the search, rehashing certain points and trying to get some leads. Pretty average search, and we were actually able to get leads. However, like a lot of searches, a bunch of kids joined. I don't have a problem with kids in the lost media community. In fact, I actually encourage helpful individuals. However, if you're like 12 or 13 and all you do is restate obvious facts, that kind of messes me up. And it messed up a bunch of other people too. In fact, it did it so much as to where I and 4 others branched out of the server in order to do our own research on the topic. Anyways, a couple of shots later, and we became the Lostcast. Pretty cool, huh? Well, now that you know what happened after the video was released, we should probably discuss the progress that was made. So, now we had a group for that stuff. I'm not gonna throw shade at the server, however, because some significant leads were actually made through there. However, it was a group chat where most of the action happened. I'll try to keep everyone we contacted as anonymous because of something that actually happened. Due to the popularity of my video, one of the people I had mentioned in it had actually started getting more messages about it. I, in no capacity, endorse this. Harassment for lost media is stupid. Plus, I had mentioned I had contacted him in my video, so why would you also contact him? Anyways, everyone mentioned here will stay anonymous because I don't want them getting hunted down over a stupid pilot pitch from the 90s. So, we had a few leads and decided to pursue them. So, how did we get some of these leads? Well, what we did was look back at the search and look at contacts who never replied and tried finding stuff relating to them. This was actually pretty good and we were able to track down about 3 people from this. However, nobody of that bunch remembered anything regarding the pilot. Once again, we were stuck. Our small group consisted of 5 members when we started. It was me, L Supersonic Q, Ultra Christ, King Mr. Harvey, and Rift. I'd give a list of everyone who was in the server, but there were around 20 people or so, plus I left it. Anyways, we hit a roadblock and we're just kinda chilling. On the server, someone suggested looking at the Backyardigans wiki for any sort of leads. This turned out to be an amazing idea, as we were able to track down 2 people who worked on the animatronic heads. While they had no information about the pilot itself, they were able to direct us to someone who had a bit of information. Through this lead is where the joke of the Uniqua Springlock incident of 1998 joke originated, as we found out that during the filming of the pilot, one of the animatronic heads broke, as the fiberglass inside one of the heads couldn't withstand all the moving animatronic parts. Anyways, while we were waiting for a response from that lead, something else happened. I was actually live streaming one night, and we were discussing pieces of lost media. A user by the name of JenPen had contacted me, informing me that they had new info on me and my friends. At first, I thought it was a small kiddo messing around with me, so I told them to send whatever new information they had regarding me and my friends. Now, what happened next, I didn't expect. They actually came through, and it was through that I had discovered new images, and they have never been seen before. I should also say now that I do not have copies of those pictures, and we do not have permission to share them. And yeah, so GenPen was invited to join our search team to help us out, and we welcomed it. GenPen had actually been involved in the search before and had gotten those images from the production coordinator of the project. A lot of the search was mainly waiting on leads to get back to us. Some would do it in a day, others would do it in a month. Eventually, I think it was around a month or two after the initial contact with our big lead individual that we received a response, and it was that response that gave us the new images. Now, if you haven't seen these images yet, they'll be put up on screen and each will be elaborated on. The first picture is of the actor in the Pablo suit. I won't disclose his name, but he has been identified. If you do figure out who he is, do not contact him. He doesn't have anything to say about me and my friends. No, it's not some specific weird reason of secrecy. He literally just has nothing to contribute to the discussion. You can see in the background of the picture that there's a green screen. Not sure if that's related to anything. The second picture is on set, which is interesting because it is believed that rehearsals for this production were actually done in New York. So, all these pictures must have been taken the day of production. But don't quote me on that though. I believe that this Uniqua head that we were actually seeing is the head that broke during production, although I could be very well wrong. You can see a boom mic person in the background as well as Tyrone's actress without her head. More on that later. The third picture is an unidentified Nickelodeon employee with some sort of device next to Tyrone. On the ground is a prop toy that seems to have a connection with Tyrone in some of the images. The set is the same as the Nickelodeon Studios Florida video. Here we have Uniqua in a full body shot. She has no knees. Something interesting here to note is the employee wearing bags on his shoes as to not scuff the flooring of the set. We have a prop of the Uniqua self-portrait. I believe that through these props, we may be able to determine the plot of the pitch. The fifth picture is a team of employees fixing the inner workings of the Uniqua suit. Once again, I believe that this is a suit that broke while filming. You can see how it works from the inside. Here's an employee, also shown in the previous image, with Tyrone. Tyrone has the prop toy again. Nothing much to say about this one. The guy's just thrilled to meet Tyrone, I guess. The seventh picture is Pablo Drip. Here we have the actors and actresses without their costume heads. As you can see, Tyrone was played by a woman. She's been identified and doesn't have much to add to the search. In this picture, they're holding custom-made flags made from basic household objects like paper towel rolls and construction paper. Tyrone's prop is on the swing. The eighth picture is a full-body suit image of Pablo. Behind him, there looks to be his toy scooter prop. Yet again, I could be wrong. There's also a slide and a toy ball, probably to fill in the setting of a backyard. The ninth and final image is a full cast picture with a lady who's been contacted and recognized. This is the most popular new image as it showcases each character and their full body. I noticed there was a lack of Tasha in these images. The background has a sandbox, something we hadn't seen yet. And yeah, those were the images. After the release of the images, we were kind of left in a strange place. However, one individual from the Discord server came to help, that person being General Warturtle. Warturtle had been observing the page for me and my friends on the Backyardigans fandom site when they noticed a descriptive word for one of the meerkats. Obviously intrigued, Warturtle reached out to find who made the edit to describe the meerkats. The edit turned out to be an assumption, but it did lead us further into this, as we now had contact with two admins of the fandom site. Now enters Melodis and Sandra's. Guys, please forgive me if I butchered that, I'm so sorry. These two admins were expertly skilled in the search, and that's where we all learned that this search dated further back than 2017, and in fact reached all the way back to 2015. They had heard about the pilot in the Nickelodeon Studios Florida video as well, however their search was a lot more intensive. Although they were never able to reach Janice herself, the two were able to find a lot more credible individuals such as production coordinators and even the biggest lead. I will keep their name and role a complete secret, but all we had to do was hope that this lead would get back to us. In fact, they had gotten back to our two admins before regarding the search. They had said important information that I will now read. However, certain names and private information will be censored.
Uniqua and Tyrone were played by two actresses from New York who were close friends. Tyrone's actress was named I don't remember her last name, unfortunately. She said she had photos of herself on set, but she never got around to sending them. Pablo was also played by He didn't have any photos and didn't remember much about it. He performed loads of costume characters for Universal, and it was a short gig for him. The costume design team was all of them responded. Had photos, had one photo that was already online, and didn't have anything. The puppeteers were remembered some details, but only had one photo, which was on his website. The other three responded, but didn't have anything. The was Melodious and I both talked to her, and I butchered that again, I'm so sorry. She had a tape, and she called it footage of the presentation. Melodious asked her the story of me and my friends, and she said she didn't remember, and never watched her own tape. It boggled our minds. She had a tape of it, and never bothered to watch it. She didn't respond the last time we emailed her. For the second pilot, we got in touch with a whole team of animators. We got to see 3 clips of the animation, we put one online, and some still frames. We also got in touch with Uniqueless Dancer, who showed us footage of the motion cap studio.
So yeah, we had a really big lead, and now you're pretty much caught up event-wise. We're still waiting to hear back from this big lead regarding the footage of the presentation. However, there's no guarantee they will respond. As for the search, we have everything under control. Please don't go out of your way to locate these people and contact them. That could easily ruin the search and make things stay lost forever. So I mentioned earlier I had an idea of what the plot was. Well, while I don't completely understand each role, I do have an idea of what this was involving our main characters. We've seen earlier in the pictures the homemade flags and the Uniqua portrait. I believe that the plot was to teach kids how to express themselves. I believe that the Meerkats could have taught the kids how to make the flags or something like that, as an interactive bit to keep their attention at home and make something interesting. The main characters would each express themselves through different means. Uniqua through art, Tyrone with his toys somehow, and while I'm not sure of the others, I believe imagination and song would have been involved. This is probably not even close to what the plot actually is, but hey, I took a pretty interesting guess. So, that's pretty much it for updates regarding the search at the moment. Like stated before, we have leads pending regarding the actual pilot and its production. I will admit, I was a little hesitant to release this information, rightfully so, because if everyone heard that we had lead to someone who potentially owned a copy, all hell would break loose. I need to go ahead and clarify again that this is not an absolute lead and that there is no guarantee of a response. Regardless, I wanted to thank everyone who watched my first video and let it grow to what it is now. Without it becoming so popular, we probably wouldn't have advanced this search. A lot of people say that I revived the search, but I think that the community revived it by sharing it around. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying this awesome search, leave a like and consider subscribing. It's free. You can click that bell to be notified of any new uploads. I apologize if this is a short video. I promise the next one will be longer. Like always, guys, it's been a pleasure and a blast. I'll see you all next time. Peace.